Shabbat Shalom, Israel, Judah. This is your brother DFG. Hey, my brothers and sisters. Happy Shabbat to you. We are so fortunate, in these last days and time to be able to come together and truly celebrate YAHUAH by being submissive, to His will on this great 7-day of restoration for YAHUAH's people. So again, I want to say unto my brothers and sisters, Israel and Judah, Shabbat Shalom. Today's message, I want to say it out front, it's going to be, very sensitive to some people. Because, as Israel, unfortunately, especially Judah, we have a tendency to wear our emotions on our shoulders. And brothers and sisters, you can't learn if you can't be pressured into self-assessment and self-evaluation. And far too often, we have been taught to be so super sensitive that any emotion, any feelings, emotions that occur within us, if it's not favorable to us, then we've been taught to take offense to it. And that is nothing but do as thy will. Aleister Crowley, live, L-I-V-E, your best life now. Do whatever you want to do. Live. And as we talked not long ago, the last message, if you just take those same letters in the word live, L-I-V, and you just turn it around. Matter of fact, let me help you. And I'm going somewhere with this, brothers and sisters. Live. Can you brothers see that? Live. Sisters, live. No, it's not too clear, but it's live. All right? Now, watch this. I know you've already figured this out, but that's okay. Sometimes they always saying a picture is worth 1,000 words. Just look at live. Look at the bottom. What does it say? Evil. And I know a lot of our people think, well, that's just coincidence. There's no coincidence, brothers and sisters. It's only manipulation and control. No coincidences. Manipulation and control is the rule of the day. And everything that coincides, it coincides with a purpose. So don't let anybody get you caught up into this coincidental foolishness. If you don't have discipline and you don't have structure, you don't have a vision, and you don't have purpose, Brother Adrian, I know you catch that for me. Reprint that for me or put that back in the comment section so I can pin that. Then you are open to the way you feel, you're open to the way you think, and you're open to all of the forces upon this earth to dictate to you what your next steps are going to be. And I can assure you, my brothers, when Solomon said there's a way that seems right to a man, Proverbs 14 and 13, but the end of those ways would destroy that man, that one man, that, what I just shared with you is what he's referencing. So I'm going to ask early on in this message that if you intend to stay, I want you to stay with the proper amount of resilience. I want you to pull your feelings and pull your emotions in and just listen to understand. Whether what you do with that knowledge, that is totally up to you. But only, a fool despises knowledge. That's what our book says. It says a fool despises knowledge. And so what I'm saying again is just, follow along. Take away the meat, spit out the bones, however you want to rationalize that, whatever make it make sense to you. But to run away in this day and time, with all the dangers that are surrounding us and attempting to overtake us, it is a huge mistake. And we are not, the time for pettiness is over with. And my dear sisters and my dear brothers, I want to say this to you again. The time of pettiness is over. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about how you feel about whatever it is you're feeling. They don't. They'll tell you they do, but they don't. It's time now as these days draw near towards the end, it's time to embrace things. It's time to allow knowledge and wisdom in. And all you're getting an understanding. As Solomon, one of our kings, wrote in his Proverbs, or his instruction to us, Israel. This is time for preparation. This channel is not a channel for fear. This channel is set up to inform. It's called the End Time Channel for a reason. It's not to make you afraid. It's to help you or to inspire you to get prepared. It's a big difference. So I want you to just settle in and hang through this with your brother. Again, what you do with the information is totally up to you. But if a warning is coming and YAHUAH gives that to one of his servants, that's his love for you. If you reject that warning that YAHUAH gives to you from one of his servants, that's called self-hatred. Again, like David said, a fool despises knowledge. But a righteous man or woman, they search a matter out. Okay, that being said, I want to do a quick little review of last Wednesday's Bible study. As you guys know, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, YAHUAH willing, we come together, as a small assembly of like-minded, believers. Sometimes there are others who jump in, but we help them to understand early on that if you're looking for Jesus, you got the wrong group. If you think that someone other than your Creator is going to be your salvation, you got the wrong group. If you're looking and believing that even though Deuteronomy 4:2 tells us not to add anything to YAHUAH's word, Proverbs 30, chapter 30, verse 5 and 6, or verse 6 and 7, 5, 6, and 7 more or less, tells us not to add or diminish anything from his word. And yet a couple of thousand years ago, give or take, some folk decided upon them own selves to not only add to his YAHUAH's word, but they even attached it to his Tanakh. And they called that a New Testament, which is a direct violation of YAHUAH's commandment not to do that. Look it up for yourself. Thou shalt not add nor diminish. And for you Revelation folks over there, Revelation 22, around 14, 15, look towards the end. It again tells you that plagues and destruction and damnation comes to anyone who would try that. So if you're looking, for that kind of story, then you don't want to be a part of our Bible study. We teach the truth. We learn from Abba YAHUAH. We have no tolerance in these last days for anything that could lead us or put us in a position of idolatry. And so, but we have good conversation. We have blessed teaching. And I say that because the teaching comes from the book. The teaching comes from the word. And we study that word. And we search through the Tanakh. We're not afraid to go into the Torah and see what the Torah has to say to Israel. We're not afraid of the Apocrypha books, which most of these so-called leaders, man-made ordained leaders, in their platforms and their congregations and organizations and affiliations are horrified when you start talking about the Apocrypha books. They don't want to have anything to do with it because they want to train for that. So they were trained to not talk about those Apocrypha books because inside of those Apocrypha books, they're going to find out the truth about who Israel is. And it ain't those folks over there in what you would call Western, Asia Minor, whatever they call it over there. It's not Jerusalem. In the state of we, melanated, scattered all over the earth. Those Apocryphal books tell and reveal us, the melanated bloodline descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. the 12 tribes that make up Israel, or the Israelites. And there's story after story, precept after precept, warning after warning, victories after victories. And I want to emphasize that, because inside of those apocryphal books, we are the winners in more cases than not. Talking about Israel. In this New Testament dynamic, this Jesus dynamic, obvious we're the losers. And not only are we the losers, we get the win when we die and go find a mansion or go inherit a mansion from a lesser Elohim, that the heathens prayed to and told us we need to pray to make it all inclusive so that everybody can get a piece of the pie. Well, I'm sorry, you can get the crumbs and they get the piece of the pie. But we study inside of the Bible study groups, and our Bible study group, not groups, one group. And we teach and we fellowship and we get to know one another better. And we, we are strengthened. It's 45 minutes. There's time for question and answers. Again, 7 o'clock Eastern time, United States. We get on about 10 minutes before and we pray and do a little fellowshipping, just so that the demons who are always roaming around looking for something to get into, that they know that we see them and that we're not afraid of them, and that we will invoke the power of Abba Yah to destroy them if necessary, that he will rain fire on them and their seed for coming and bothering Israel in a time of worship and assembly and celebrating. But that's it. I'm sure you probably never heard anybody break down a Bible study like that before, right, brothers? But it is what it is. But we did study the book of Joshua, and typically I would have gone and did an overview message, but I think we got our point across this Wednesday, and I try to always listen for Abba Yah, and I'm not going to share anything that he doesn't inspire me or drive me or encourage me to share. And for that particular Bible study, his Ruach did not tell me to do a video message concerning that. But I will give you a quick overview. It was Joshua chapter 58. Got some notes. Put on my glasses here. But it was Joshua 58. And it's a continual story of what happened to Joseph and his brethren after the passing of our forefather Israel. And how that, the enemies, Esau, his, and his demonic behavior and his ways, his selfish ways, self-righteous ways, his hateful ways. That's why Abba Yah said in the book of Malachi, what did he say? Chapter 1, verse 2, have I not loved you, Israel, but yet Esau have I hated? And that's for all of those who are running around with this lovey-dovey, Elohim is full of love and there is no hatred in Elohim. And how could you say you love Elohim and you got hatred in your heart? Or how can you say something that you have no idea what you're talking about? Is my response to whoever or whomever you are. It is written all through Abba Yah's book that not only can he hate, but he also can be jealous. Now remember I told you a little while ago, hold back your emotions, because don't get worked up here. I'll prove it out. I'll show you in the book. But getting back to the overview of the study, I'll show you in the book what I just said. I'll validate it through the book, and then let you decide if you're going to believe the book or your preacher or some New Testament writings that were put to get you not to look at your own history if you're an Israelite. It's world history, but it's world history about Israel and Judah. But anyway, we talked about, Joseph afterwards and Esau coming at him and with war in his heart, trying to destroy Jacob, as they do today, no different. And we just, and these are the notes that I took away. All right, first of all, first note, remember your enemies always. Your enemies are your enemies. They're never to be trusted as friends. When people show you who they are, How that old saying go? Believe it. And far too often, as as Israel, our people, so-called Negroes, African, we're way, way, way too forgiving when it comes down to mortal enemies. Our forgiveness should be within our people. Those who are learning, those who are growing, those who made honest mistakes, some even stupid mistakes, and some maybe dishonest mistakes. I mean, it wasn't a mistake. They did it wrong intentionally. Our forgiveness needs to be, centered or celebrated in that group, our people. And then those who continue in wickedness, the 2/3 amongst Israel, Abba Yah will judge them. But when it comes down to mortal enemies, we studied in Joshua 58 that there are people here who will hate us for eternity. But they will come to you ready to compromise, come to you, to sit in with you, live in with you, whatever with you. But they're not there to edify. They're there to destroy. They're there to look and peek over your shoulder, look behind your back, catch you, not paying attention, assault you any way they can, and speak their evil or think their evil against the people of Elohim, hoping that their God, the one they serve, the one they pray for, will keep them in power and destroy you because they can't control and dominate you. But we'll talk about that in a minute as well. So remember your enemies. Number 2, learn from the word, because it is our instruction manual. Joseph and his brothers were very successful against all the attacks, the many attacks that Esau or Edom came against them with. And they kept coming in waves. They didn't fight one time. They kept coming back. And because Joseph and his brothers were obedient to the commandments of Abba Yah, they kept pushing them and fighting them, and at the end of the day, whipping their asses. All praises to Abba Yah. They could not overcome us. What did our book say? Though the enemy comes in like a flood, what? Abba Yah will raise up a standard against them. What else it said? No weapon formed against us, what? Shall prosper. And every tongue that speaks evil against us. Abba Yah said, oh, I heard him. I'll deal with him, DFG. You continue on. And that's the message that he sends to all of us. If your heart is searching Abba Yah. What did 2 Chronicles 16:9 say? What? Abba Yah goes throughout the whole earth, looking to show himself strong in those whose hearts are perfect to Abba Yah, Yahuwah. Not to Jesus, not you. No, if your heart's perfect towards Yahuwah, your creator, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, us, then Abba Yah said he will show himself strong within us. And Joseph and his brothers saw the benefits of that dedication and commitment, and they left record of that for us to follow, so we would know that we don't have to be always at the bottom. We can be on top. We don't always have to be the warriors, the beggars. We can be the lenders. Deuteronomy 28 says, if you keep Abba Yah's commandments, these things, you'll be blessed, you'll be blessed, you'll be blessed, you'll be blessed, you'll be blessed. It goes on for 14 verses talking about all the blessings that Abba Yah has for us in our obedience. Not because we believed in some savior of the world, some son of God, or whatever they call him. No, because we kept Abba Yah's commandments as written in Abba Yah's Torah. And Joseph and his brothers did it. And they were taught by their father the importance of doing it. And so Yah was always with them. So remember, in regards to when you're looking at Abba Yah's word, the Tanakh, the Torah, apocryphal books, these books, they are just manuals for life. They're instruction manuals. They are Israel, yours, mine, our instruction manual. Another takeaway from the study was never take leadership for granted. Never. That's what the heathens do. See, the heathens change their leaders every time, they have some type of conflict amongst them. Then they get a new one, and then they tell their lies about how great the new one's gonna be. And then about 2 years in, they start telling how wicked he is, and how the next new one, how she's gonna be, or whomever it's going to be. Not just in their wicked governments, but in anything they do. They change their leaders like a man or one man would change underwear, trousers, because they have no loyalty, they have no commitment, they only have lust after power, money, and influence. Power, money, and influence. That's all they seek. And whenever they can't get that, then they're ready to throw they're ready to throw that leader out. But see, in Israel, our kings were there for a while. And you look at Joseph reigned for 40 years as king. Of Egypt, I might add, in this position. Some would say, no, he was under Pharaoh. Yeah, no. Pharaoh might have had the title, but Joseph had the authority. The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the just. You look at Solomon, he king for 40 years. Moses, 40 years. Number 40 is very significant with our Abba Yah. But when Abba Yah, the point taken here, when Abba Yah places a leader or put a king, don't take them for granted, because Abba Yah has put them there, and he wants them to be there until his purpose is fulfilled. And Abba Yah's purpose through his king is for his people to be not only embraced, but to be fruitful and to multiply. That is the role of Abba Yah's leader. And Abba Yah believes in generational blessings. He wants sustainability from us, brothers and sisters. Again, be not like the heathens. They change their leaders like, they don't have that I guess you have to have a soul to care. And soulless individuals are not going to care about anything. They're just going to care about what they want when they want it. And I know some of us have taken on their behaviors, but that is not the way of Israel, and it certainly was not the way of Joseph and his brothers. So again, never take leadership for granted, because we're not heathens, or we're not supposed to act like heathens. Although again, 2/3 of us have seemed to master that. Next one. Yahuwah will bless them that bless Israel. Let me say that again. Yahuwah will bless them that bless Israel. The new Pharaoh who came in after his father. And you'll read that in Joshua 58. His father told him, you bless Israel. You bless, really bless Jacob, or blessing Joseph, which is the same thing, one of Israel's sons. And because he submitted to that, he acquiesced to that. He acquiesced to it. Egypt was blessed under Joseph's, reign. So again, those who bless Israel, Abba Yah is going to bless them. The next thing, when you see the thing, sands of the sea, I want you to remember, because a lot of times you hear sands of the sea, you think that's some number that's innumerable. What is the sands of the sea? And we saw that, early on, in Genesis, Joshua, where the promise was made to our father Abraham, that his blessings would be like the sands of the sea. And many people took that to mean everybody. It's not true. There's a number to the sands of the sea, and it's not a infinite number. And we learned that in studying, in Joshua 58. When he said the enemies gathered together their troops to fight against Joseph and his brethren. They were numbered like the sands of the sea. But that number happened to be 800,000 men. Okay, so keep that in mind. 800,000. Right now, in a world of almost 8 billion people, 800,000 is not an all-inclusive number, brothers and sisters. Just like when that promise that was made to Abraham about, the sands of the sea, his seed would be like that. No, his seed was Israel. In his case, Israel was that blessing Abba Yah was talking about, and how we will be a blessing again to anyone who are a blessing to us. Next, be relentless, or be relentless, and take no prisoners in times of war. You know, in times of war, no compromise. Your enemies are your enemies. You know, if you follow this channel, I gave a little parable. Really, it was more of a metaphor, and it was talking about how that is dangerous. It's not dangerous. It's deadly. When you allow your enemies, you know what I'm saying, to survive battles with you. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about when you find yourself, let's just find a peace treaty. Let's ally ourselves. And I gave that parable. It's like the turtle and the scorpion. Scorpion can be very influential. Your enemies can be very influential when they have, you know, when they see that associations can be gainful unto them. Now, a righteous man would never do that. A righteous woman wouldn't do that. A righteous woman would count a blessing as a blessing. As a matter of fact, they would want to give a blessing for a blessing. But see, the heathen, he's not going to think that way. She's not going to think that way. It's always going to be about self-centeredness, even if it means to their own demise, and they will take you down with them, i.e., as what's happening to this country and countries surrounding this country. All of its friends are falling right down with America. Many of them are running for the hills because I say they changed their leadership because, again, you know, they don't stand up and fight when things get really, really bad. They run. And we saw that, you know, in Joshua 58, as we said. And I would advise you again, if you want a part of the study, go read Joshua 58. You'll see what your brother is breaking down. But no compromise when it comes down to your enemies. If you put your foot on their neck and you keep it on their neck, because if you take that foot off, just like that scorpion stung that turtle and both died, all I'll say, you're warned. Also, we talked about how Joseph just with 600 mighty men fought against 800,000. Because our YAHUAH was with Joseph. Show you, with Psalms 91 say one could put 1,000 to flight and 2, 10,000. I think that's Psalms 90. It's the book of Psalms 91 and 7. We saw a perfect demonstration of that. 600 mighty men of Israel slaughtered 200,000 of the enemies of Esau in his sand of the sea. And guess what, brothers and sisters? They did not lose one man. If Yah be for you, who can be against you, brothers and sisters? You put Abba Yah first, he's going to put you first. That's in his Tanakh. That's his promise. He said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wickedness and seek my face. That's 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. He said, then I will hear them from heaven. I will forgive their sins and I would heal their land. Healing your land means you're going to win. So he gave us the formula right there. 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. But when we go before Abba Yah, we have to go in sincerity. We have to go in obedience to his laws, statutes, and commandments. Otherwise, 2 Chronicles 7 and 14 is non-void. It has none effect. If you go before Abba Yah, humbled as Israel, seeking Abba Yah's face, to turn away from your wickedness, but you haven't kept the Torah, Abba Yah is not going to hear your prayers. Now, if you have kept the Torah and you're falling in some way, Abba Yah will hear, but you still have to repent. But he will heal you. He will hear you. He's true to his word. But we also warned in Proverbs 28 and 7 Proverbs 28 and 9, that the only prayers that are acceptable to Abba Yah is those who, only people he hear, or only of those of Israel he hear, are those who keep the Torah. Otherwise, your prayers fall upon deaf ears and they are considered an abomination. So if you're not keeping the Torah, he's saying you're wasting time praying. Joseph and his brother were obedient to the commandments. That's why they had the victory. That's why they can go and fight against an army with the sands of the sea, destroy 200,000 of them on one day, and then when that battle, the next day, when got 600 more of them, and never lost one man. All of them came back in one piece. Again, one could put 1,000 to flight, 2, 10,000. If we are in obedience. That applies to each and every one of us, brothers and sisters. But the standard is there for which you have to obey if you want to see the demonstration of his strength. And if you're sick and tired of getting, your head handed to you on a platter, so to speak, over there praying to the one the church told you to pray to, and then you come outside, you look around, nothing has changed. You look at your people, nothing has changed. You look at your situation, you're the last, the worst. I mean, how long would it take for a reasonably intelligent person to understand, hey, this ain't working? There's an old saying, a proverb or a metaphor, however you want to say it, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different results. Now, I just shared with you, if we follow Yahuwah, law, statutes, and commandments, he says we will win. They told us those things were done away with, talking about the losing team. And they told us if we serve their Jesus or Yahushua, whoever they claim died for their sins, that you be on the winning team. Yet they ain't won a damn game yet. And they've been trying for almost 2,000 years. That's not the definition of insanity. Come join your brothers and sisters and learn the truth. We're here. Just dial in on one of these Wednesday evenings, 7 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Number 517-357. Oops. Getting it wrong. 517-597. 516-597-9598. So many other things going on up here. YAHUAH is talking to me. But 516-597-9598. If I got one of those numbers wrong, it's going to be in the About page. You can find it sitting right over there. Praise Yah. Next thing here, in this, let's see. Oh, two things. Never forget, your enemies can hate you forever. Please remember that. I know someone, they're going to get over it at some point. If you go back and they said the Esau seed hated Israel, Joseph and his brothers forever. And that they would never stop hating us. Forever. It wasn't just in that time. It means until Yah comes back. But yet, Joseph and his men, because they were obedient, Joseph and his brothers, the other 11 brothers, 12 tribes collectively as a group, because they were obedient, they kept the commandments, they taught the heathens around them the importance of keeping the commandments, or else. Not only did they have peace, but they were victorious. They were winners. They won. They became the head and not the tail. They became the lenders and not the borrowers. And just the last thing I'll say with this, and then we'll get to the study. Brothers and sisters, if you're looking for peace, peace don't come from compromise. Peace comes from courage. When you compromise and partner, and we have proven this over time by compromising with our enemies, serving their gods, serving their traditions, their customs, learning their ways, as Jeremiah told us, learn not the ways of the heathens, because the heathens' ways are vain. Vain simply means they only care about themselves and their seed at the end of the day. We're not to compromise. If you want peace, don't compromise. If you want peace, be courageous. And being courageous is mean being set apart. not afraid to take a stand, not afraid to speak Abba Yah's truth, not afraid to live by his laws, statutes, and commandments, regardless of what anybody thinks. If your children don't want to have anything to do with you then that's on them, not on you. You'll be fine. If your parents don't want to have anything to do with you, don't worry about it. You're not the first, and you certainly won't be the last. If all of your friends turn their back up on you, no problem. Abba Yah will give you better friends. But the one thing you'll know, your courageousness, your strength of resolve, your intellect, all those things will be blessed, because as Joseph obeyed Abba Yah in his commandments, the book says, and 58 says, Abba Yah increased his wisdom, increased him in loyalty, and increased him in love. That's the benefits of keeping Abba Yah's Torah. That they told you, oh, you don't want to do that. That's not necessary anymore. Of course, that's what they will tell you if they're trying to strip you of your power. If they want to control you, manipulate you, exploit you, of course that's what the con artists are going to say. And they got many con artists all over this wicked flat earth coming in the name of religion, just like the little nasty Dalai Lama one, the Buddhist one. I'm sure all of y'all familiar with his little sticking out tongues telling little boys to suck it. But I know people, I can't believe that. Well, that's like I said earlier, brothers and sisters. Let's not, play naive here. We've been hearing about stuff going on in the Catholic Church, these Protestant churches. We've heard all kind of things. What they do to little boys when they circumcise them, how they thicken all kind of stuff. Let's not get into this. Or into that kind of mindset, like overly shocked that it's not of Abba Yah. What you think was going to happen in these temples of Moloch, these temples of Baal worship? What do you think would happen in there? And that's why Abba Yah told us to come out from them. And that's the all of anything, any religion, all of them, the 7 major ones especially. Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Catholicism. What's the Protestantism? I think I missed something. Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity, and Judaism. There's 2 more. They don't matter because we shouldn't be a part of any of them. We have a relationship. We don't need religion when we with Abba Yah. When we follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, we don't need religion. We don't need to be associated with the heathens. Abba Yah brings like-minded brothers and sisters together, and that we form a family. Like-minded believer, family with customs, laws, statutes, a way of doing things, values, principles, integrity, honor, courage. And that's an overview. But those are the things that we study, brothers and sisters. And we'll be back, Yah willing, next Wednesday night. And again, you're invited. You're invited to sit in 45 minutes. Then we open for discussion of anything, things related to what we discussed in the study. And then we go on with the rest of our evening and night until Abba Yah gives us an opportunity, Yah willing, to meet again. So that's the scaled down version of last Wednesday's Bible study. This Wednesday, Yah willing, we're going to be in 1 Maccabees. And I think that if you're able to make it, you're going to find it very edifying. I've studied it, and the words are coming up out of the page. And I say, tell my people, again, remember, this is an information channel. This is not the place you come to for feel-good message. You go over there, you can get that from Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes and, all the rest of them over there. That, anyone that's going to tell you that it's safe and everything is beautiful and great when all hell is breaking loose. You go over there for that. But over here, it's a warning on how to get ready so you can truly experience everything Abba Yah has promised to those whose hearts are perfect towards him. And not only in the next life, but you get a taste of it in this life. And that's what we're striving to get. We're already getting a taste of it in this life. The courageousness, the intellect, the awareness to be able to recognize that, wow, we were that far off the truth. We were lost. Wow. And now Abba Yah has opened up our eyes and we see who we are. We know who we are. We know who he is. We know what our relation is towards with Abba Yah. All of his promises for us. We're learning about our own history for a change, not some other nation's history. We're already getting a taste of it. We're getting a taste of it. But this is nothing in comparison to what Abba Yah has for us when we go over. And what I mean by go over is that when this thing is done or your life is done and you're reawakened to the new heaven and the new earth, Isaiah said that it's Isaiah 64:4. He said, your eyes have not seen. Matter of fact, let me go over there right quick and then we're going to get to today's message. Y'all willing. This is how it reads, my dear brothers and sisters. It says, since the beginning of the world, since the beginning of time, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither has the eye seen, O Elohim, besides you, O Elohim, what he has prepared for them that awaits him. Only Elohim has seen what he has for us, brothers and sisters. And it is beautiful. It is marvelous. Look. Okay, I don't have the word because I don't know. I don't know. But I got a feeling it's going pretty big. Again, I don't have the words, but I definitely have a feeling. And if you want to experience it, then you're going to have to come out of the darkness and come into the light, come into the truth. And there are those of us here who have done it and are consistently doing it. And we welcome you if your heart is right, Israel. Okay. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, where we're going to study from today. And y'all willing, we'll get through this pretty fast. But what we're going to be studying is about Israel and Judah. But the book is going to break it down in a metaphor. It's going to do it in a metaphor as two young daughters, who were at once virgin. In other words, they knew whom they belonged to, and they were chaste. Virgins, chaste. Prepared for the king to come, their prince to come. But somewhere down the path, they forgot about their chastement, and they allowed themselves to be whored out. Now, it's the metaphor using women. But remember, we're seen as the bride of Abba Yah. That's why when you're reading the book, it talks about, they committed adultery against Abba Yah. That's because that's what he's talking about. Adultery means when we go after other Elohims. So just to kind of give you a little heads up, when you hear your brother sharing this, teaching this, these two virgins are symbolic of Israel and Judah. And how it started off beautifully in innocence and purity, but allowed themselves to be corrupted by evil men and the temptations of this world, living their best life, as they say. Do you. That's the most important thing. Promoting the evil inside of the heart of men, instead of embracing or searching for the love of Abba Yah for his people. So let's go. Ezekiel chapter 23. And the word of Yahuwah came to me again, saying, Son of Adam. And I like this son of Adam, because you look through the book and they'll try to deceive you. Oh, son of Adam, that means, who they call, Jesus or Yahushua. See, the son of Adam is just another word for men. You see that word, brothers? There ain't nothing so special about it. That's nothing makes that term a deity. That is just a term of adoration or recognition, identification. Whom you are. You are the chosen. You are the called out. You're the seed of the Creator. First man, Adam, as well, who was created by the Creator, not Adam. Let's go. But the word of Yahuwah, back to the word of Yahuwah, chapter 23, verse 1. The word of Yahuwah came again to me, saying, Son of Adam, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt, and they committed whoredoms in their youth, and there were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised their tits of their virginity. See, now he's talking about us that when we were brought into captivity, because we were in Goshen at one time, and you'll study that. We went when Joseph, when our people came to Egypt, running from the famine, we didn't settle in Egypt. We settled on the borders of Egypt. Our own land, our own custom was set aside for us, surely through Joseph's administration. But a called out, separate, set apart, as YAHUAH has always wanted us to be. He didn't, and that's what Jeremiah 10 talks about. Learn not the ways of the heathen, and that's why the book tells us not to for any marrying. Because why? Your sons and your daughters are going to take upon the ways of the heathens. Isn't that Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2 and 3? Okay, let's bounce back. Precepts. Deuteronomy in our Torah says this. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2. And when Yahuwah shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them. We just talked about destroy them, utterly destroy them. And you shall make no covenant with them, and you don't show them any mercy. Didn't I just share that with you? And when I said that our brother Joseph kept the commandments? That's why he was blessed. And the brothers who also kept the commandments, that's why they were blessed, because they were following the Torah, as it is written in the Torah. They followed the Torah. They kept no prisoners. They didn't compromise with their enemies. They weren't looking, for love in all the wrong places. But they were demonstrated over in the book of Joshua 58, and you come right over here in Deuteronomy and see that they were keeping the Torah, even though the Torah had not been presented by Moses, but the Torah came through Abraham. Really, the Torah goes all the way back to the garden, or coming out of the garden. It's not a new thing. It's not an old thing. It's an eternal thing. It's not an old document, a new document. It's the eternal document. It's the only document written with pens on heavenly stones. And they understood it. And they executed it. And just as it says in Deuteronomy 28, they reaped all of the rewards from keeping the Torah. And since they were ruling things, they could keep it in its fullest, including all the feast days and every part, that's the details, and unblemished, fire, all those things, because they were in their own land or in their own place, or they had all authority, so they could cultivate the right environment to be able to do that. Here in bondage, there's some things we can't do, some things we can do. But when we get back to YAHUAH in the new heaven, new earth, we're going to be fulfilling 100%, even in that, talking about sacrifices. But right now, we have to focus on obedience first. and foremost. And through their obedience, they were victorious. And then it goes on to say, verse 3, neither shall you make marriages with them. Your daughter you shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shall you take unto your son. Why? For they will turn away your son from following me. Who is me? Yahuwah Elohim. That they may serve other Elohims, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, etc. And so will my anger, and so will the anger of Yahuwah be kindled against you, and he will destroy us for doing it. In Abba Yah word, you can't add or reinterpret this. This is written clearly. They will turn you away from Abba Yah. So subtly sometimes. Little things. Plant little seeds in there. What they're saying? It's the small foxes that spoil the vine. Well, it don't take all of that. Sure, he loves everybody. They don't really understand what they're reading. I know their heart's in the right place. Whatever, the word's going to be as smooth as butter. Smooth as oil. But I can assure you, if they could turn away King Solomon and make him an idolater, brothers and sisters, we don't stand a chance if we interact. And you're going against Abba Yah's Torah. And if you don't keep his Torah, he will not hear your prayers. It's as simple as that. Not because Brother DFG says so, it's because the word says so. Not that hard. But it does take courage, and it does take commitment, and it takes consistency. Because you have to sustain it. You can't do it when you want to and disregard it just because, you have something that you think is a little bit more important. Is there anything more important than your soul? Anytime you want to violate Abba Yah's Torah, you should ask yourself, is this worth more than my soul? Is this worth me spending eternity in a lake of fire? Is this thing I'm about to do, is it worth it? If it goes against Abba Yah's Torah, is it worth it to me? And if it is, then go do it. Because you best believe Abba Yah's word is true, and it will come to pass. You say, has Abba Yah said it and he will not do it? Since we're over here, let's go to Numbers 23. For those who think that you can just do what you want to do to Abba Yah's word, it don't matter because, you got something to do on the Shabbat. What did it say? The book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 19. Elohim is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of Adam, which some said that he was. Still saying he was. The Geno Jennings devils, Charles Darley, a bunch of them. I just named two, saying that Yahusha is Elohim. Yahusha is Yahuwah, is what they're saying. Manifested in the flesh. That is blasphemy. That is abominable. And both of them devils and everybody following them are going to burn in hell. Now, if you know them, share this video with them. But more importantly, share this word. I don't care about you sharing the video with them or not. Take them to the word. Ask them to explain themselves. And then walk out of there and never go back in there again. Save your soul. Like many of us had to walk out of religion to save our souls. Again, the book of Numbers 23:19. Elohim is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of Adam that he should repent. Has he said it, and he shall not do it? Has he spoken it, and he won't make it good? In other words, is he not good for his word? Is his word not good? Of course it is. And so you just heard what I read in Deuteronomy chapter 7, 2 and 3. And I could go through here talking about, adding, but let's get back to the central purpose. Everything, every word of Elohim is pure. Everything is pure. Pure means it is not to be tampered with. It is not to be compromised. Compromising means spinning it, twisting the word to make it mean what they want to word. And they were very clever by coming up with a New Testament to counterattack Abba Yah's truth. The New Testament was put in play to marginalize the Tanakh and the Torah and to hide from us the Apocryphal books, telling us all that's not necessary. It was a counter-narrative, a counter-attack to destroy you and I, Israel. Judah. Now, when I say 12, I'm talking about all of us, including Judah. But Daniel said in the last days, knowledge would increase, and we would know. He said, those unwise, he said, they're not going to know. Those who don't want to hear this truth, that's why I said, brother, he said, don't wrestle with them. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to believe what they were taught. They don't want to go to the instruction manual and study for themselves. They just want to believe what they were taught because they find their influence and their purpose in their religion. Israel was instructed to find its intention and purpose in Abba Yah, Yahuwah, relationship. But he said the moment we aligned ourselves with them, we would alienate ourselves from him. And that's why he don't want us intermarrying. Not because he's harsh. He doesn't care about your heart. He's reminding you your soul is the most important thing that you possess, and you need not forget that. Back to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, verse 4. And the names of them were Holah, the elder, and Holiah, her sister. And they were mine, and they bore sons and daughters, talking about Israel. You go to Isaiah 43. He tells you, we are the chosen, we are the called out. We were people set apart, set aside for him. Just as a precept. All right. Isaiah 43. Hey, brothers and sisters, I'm going to be led, and I'm going to follow as I am led. Isaiah 43, verse 1. But now thus says Yahuwah that created you, O Jacob, or Israel, and he that formed you, O Israel. Fear not, talking to Israel. I have redeemed you, Israel. I have called you by your name. You are mine, Israel. We're his. As he just told about those two daughters. You can read down the rest, but I've just told you, he's saying clearly who belongs to him. And it's Israel, not the other nations. It says Israel here. Israel. Very clear. Read it for yourself. The only thing that becomes something else when somebody adds to the word and say, oh no, it used to be not for everybody. They just added to the word, and we were warned not to do that. And he just said in Numbers 23 and 19, Abba Yah is not a man, Yahuwah is not a man that he should lie or repent. Means he would have never changed his mind. I can take you over to the book of Malachi, and it'll show right there, I am Abba Yah, I change not, I never change. But they changed it in the New Testament. Men changed it. They certainly did. The heathens changed it to get Israel to follow after their gods. Their Trinity gods. Their father gods, their mother gods, their son gods. They even worship on the day of the sun. Of course, they'll tell you it had nothing to do with sun worship, but they lie. Horus. And many other names before it became Jesus. The name changed, but the deity stayed the same. Let's come on over back to Ezekiel 23. I just want to make sure everybody understood that precepts. We don't teach without precepts. Meaning, back it up. Where the witness is at, brother. Where the witness is at, sister. And Olah played the harlot when she was mine, and she darted her lovers on Asher, his neighbors, which Ashur, not Asher, our brothers, Ashur, her neighbors, which she clothed with blue, captains and which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. It's just another word for Elohim. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change the words so we understand. Not changing the words. I'm just going to bring forth who YAHUAH and YAHUAH. I'm just going to say Judah and Israel, because that's who it's talking about. So I'm just going to give the name, not changing anything. Since we know that's who he's talking about and who he's talking to us, then I'm going to use that instead. And it'll be interchangeable. So, and every now and then I'll call it the other name too, but I just want to make sure we know that these daughters is Israel and Judah. We're the ones he's talking about here, brothers and sisters. If your bloodline Israel, he's talking about you. Today, as it was yesterday, in the ancient days, well before. This is our story for our edification and for our direction, measurement, and ultimately judgment. So here now, thus says Abba Yah's word, as it is written and was given to the prophet Ezekiel. Verse 5, and YAHUAH played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted her lovers on Asher, her neighbors, which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. This is temptation, the things of this life. Shiny things, pretty things, jewelry things, facial things, attractive things, vanity. Vanity, things that perish with time. And that's Israel. That's what we have done. And that's why Jeremiah was warning us, learn not the ways of the heathen. Why? Because their ways are vain. And he goes on and talks about chopping down trees. He almost clearly identifies a Christmas tree if you read farther in Jeremiah chapter 10. And most folk on the day of the heathen God have Christmas trees sitting in their house that fits the description that Jeremiah is warning the people against in Jeremiah chapter 10. Get a chance, read it for yourself. If you don't see how diabolical and clever these folk are. But this ain't about that. It's about Christ. Now where my presence at? I digress. Verse 7, thus she committed whoredoms with men, and with all of them that were chosen, the men of Asher, with all of whom she doted. Doted means, flirted with. And with all her idols she defiled herself. Religion. Neither left she her whoredoms, but brought from, neither left she her whoredoms that she learned from Egypt. For in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredom upon her. And again, if you go back and you read the stats, you go back and read Leviticus 18, Deuteronomy 18, Deuteronomy 20. It talks about things we learned from Egypt, like homosexuality, bestiality, witchcraft, sorcery, divination. Learned that in Egypt, and we're still practicing it. Many of our brothers and sisters today. Some have gone to the point now they're back into Kemetism, Kemet, whatever they call that. Praying to, someone become, Islam or practice the Islamic religion, walking around a big giant stone that's supposed to be covering some big hole in the ground. Others stand up, hitting their head against the wall like they're peeing. Talking about Judaism. This stuff is serious, brothers and sisters. Truth hidden in plain sight. Well, that was the past. How's the past and they're still doing it? It's the lie the enemy tells you to distract you. To encourage you to put your guards down. That's why he say don't interact with them. They will change you to start to believe in their gods, their Elohims. exactly what Moshe said in Deuteronomy 7:3. That's why. Give them time. They're going to have you thinking that it's okay to violate Abba Yah's commandments. And in violation of Abba Yah's commandment comes destruction, curses. And that's why our communities are riddled with curses. The poorest, the sickest. You name it. If it's a proverb and a byword, if it's something that people can speak evil or say have something bad to say about it, pretty much we have become the face of it. Not because Abba Yah hates us, it's because we have proven that we love the enemy God more than we love Abba Yah. Churches all through the most impoverished, rich communities in this country. Baptists and Methodists and African American Methodists and all kind of stuff sitting over there. Catholic and all hell breaking loose. Shootout right in front of the damn church. But they tell you there's power in the name of Jesus. Everlasting power. And then you walk out there and look at everlasting mayhem. Because you were seduced in there. Because when you walk out, you should say, wait a minute, there ain't no everlasting power out here. All hell breaking loose out here. What you talking about, Willis? Your pastors. But again, it's easy to deceive somebody with their eyes closed. Time to open up your eyes, Israel, to the truth. What's truth? Your word is truth. As written in this Tanakh, Apocryphal books, and Torah. And poured with whoredoms upon her. That's what these churches have done. Religions, they made us whores for their Elohims. We think about it, we're whores for them. We lay with them, we participate with them, we buy from them, we sell for them. We go where they say go, we worship when they say worship. Whores. Talking about those who are still over there. I mean, respectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's what whoredom looks before Abba Yah. It's not. Again, this is. He's talking to us at a higher level here, brothers and sisters. These are the words of the heaven. This is Abba Yah's words. It's not men's word. When man say whoredom, it may be somebody over there pulling down their panties and asking for $100. This is not that. This is spiritual wickedness we're talking about here. This is soul wickedness we're talking about here. Yeah, the flesh is going to get you in a lot of trouble. But your soul, losing it, is going to take you to hell. Or the lake of fire, let me be clear. Verse 9. Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of Asherim, upon whom she wanted. She desired him. I say, y'all wanted to be with them. Y'all sought to be with them. Y'all wouldn't come out from among them. So therefore, go. They can have you. You wanted a king, now you got one. Now everything I told you was going to happen to you when you got a king is going to happen to you. They're going to sell you. They're going to buy you. They're going to put you in the war. They're going to rob you. And that's what our people wanted. We had relationship, but they wanted rulership or religion. Same thing. Wow. I hope some of y'all just got that. I just got it. Like, wow, what a revelation. What a way to put it together. Abba Yah. My voice, my words, his wisdom. Verse 10. These discovered her nakedness, and they took her sons and daughters, and they slew them with their sword. Tell me that's not true. We call ourselves journeying, becoming Christians, and we couldn't even go to the Christian churches. The most segregated, what did Dr. King say? The most segregated place in America on Sunday was the so-called Christian churches. White churches and black churches. But all of them supposed to be Christians. And when them little lynch mobs came most of the time to come and harm our brothers and sisters for most of the time crimes they never committed, never were tried for, found guilty of, they were coming out of church. Just so you know, they were just coming out of talking to Jesus. Jesus gonna work it out. That's where the heathen was coming from. And got right one of their so-called Christian brothers and strung them up. And daughters too. They were not respected persons. And yet, somehow or another, there are enemies amongst Israel telling us to love that, believe that, stay with that. That's what got them where they are. Typically, the person that's telling you that, they fit one or two descriptions. They've enriched themselves for pushing that lie, or they're as sick as sick can be, and you're sitting there wondering, like, well, wait a minute, you ain't delivered. Grandpa, you on high blood pressure, you on heart medicine, you on the dialysis every week. Oh, and you on Social Security. What blood you talking about, Grandpa? Or mom, dad, cousin, next door neighbor, whomever it is. The sister that's been in the church for 30 years, still on the bus. But somehow or another, she's convinced that she's blessed. I say, what a wonderful. No, I don't want to say this the wrong way. I'm just going to say it the way I want to say. What a wicked weave they put together when they don't want to deceive. What a wicked web they weave when they practice to deceive. I think I said that right. And that's a wicked web of lies. When all we had to do was just come out of there and go back to what our forefathers and Abba Yah told us to do, keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. And we would be blessed. Do you know that's written in the book, brothers and sisters? For those of you who may be visiting this channel and you stayed this long, do you realize that it's written in the book that you're supposed to be blessed? Now, not when you die. Not when you believe in Jesus and then you die and he's over there got a mansion waiting for you. When you die, no, you're supposed to have it now. You're supposed to be blessed right now. Oh, but brother, that's vanity. No, the vanity is the fact that you're in these wicked so-called churches of prayer, houses of the Lord, but they're really houses of, I'll leave that there. But no, brothers and sisters, our blessing is in the Torah. Let's go there for a moment. What is a lesson without it being a lesson? This is Shabbat. We're here for a reason. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Should we be blessed? Does Abba Yah say we have to die? Because if we're blessed here, we're vain and we're being impatient and we're gluttonous or whatever. Let's see what Abba Yah says about being blessed here. Should we be blessed here? Or should we wait to die to be blessed? You'll get your blessing in the hereafter, over yonder. Let's see. Deuteronomy chapter 28. And it should come to pass, if you shall hearken, means listen, diligently to the voice of Yahuwah, not Jesus, not Buddha, not Christ, not Dalai Lama, nobody, not the Pope, not the bastard ones, nobody, but Abba Yah, Yahuwah. He said, if you listen to only Yahuwah, and guard and do all of his commandments. Guard them means stand up for them, protect them. Don't be loose with them. Guard them. You're guarding something, that means you're watching, you're careful, you're attentive. Which I command you this day, says Yahuwah, I will set you high above all the nations of the earth. Brothers and sisters, are we set high above all the nations of the earth? Talking about the so-called Negro, or whatever you are, whatever country you're in, the islands included. Are we winning there? Are we winning anywhere where we are? I'm talking about as a collective group, the majority of us. Are we winning? Not talking about anomalies, one here and one there. That's all for sure to keep you dreaming that it could be you one day when it is supposed to be you this day. That's why they stick out the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's and all them other ones, to get you to the allure of what it can be instead of the actuality of what it should be. Because you're in idolatry looking at them because they set them up to get you to be an idolater of men, a worshiper of men and women, whether it be entertainment, athletics, whatever it is. Become fanatical about those things. And then at the same time have no reference for Abba Yahuwah, or his word, or his Torah, or his Tanakh, or his apocryphal books, or even his people. But we are supposed to be the head, not the tail. And we can be. We will be. But we can be now too. Even in these last days. I'm not sitting here talking about get ready to, it's going to be happy days are here. No, ain't going to be no happy days, but you can have happiness. But real happiness. Knowing that Abba Yah is with you. And whatever you are touching, he's right there and got his hand over your hand, guarding it right along with you, purifying it, having it purified through him for you. We're gonna need Abba Yah in these last days because when the crap hits the fan, and it's coming, brothers and sisters, it is coming. That 1/3 of us, we're the ones who are gonna really see the blessings of Abba Yah. We're gonna be the head then. We're not gonna be under. We're gonna be above the nation then, because the nation's gonna be destroyed. But that remnant, that nation unto Abba Yah, because of our obedience, will be above. And he's going to protect us. He is going to gather his elect together. There's no question about that. There's going to be a fight for us because they want us. I'm talking about the enemies. But if you're in the right place with Abba Yah, brothers and sisters, you're in his word, you're searching him out, searching out your people, coming together with your people, obeying these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. But if you're doing anything other than that, you're going to be destroyed. And that's a warning. Not a threat, that's a promise. That's his word. 2/3 will be destroyed with the rest of them. Doesn't have to be us. We can win. But we only win in him and in his truth. Talking about Yahuwah. It goes on to read. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you hearken to the voice of Yahuwah. Blessed shall you be in the city. Are we blessed in the cities under Jesus? Or any of these other religions? Or associations? Fraternities, sororities, societies? Hell no. And we know it. But he said we should be. We can be. The question is, do you want to be? And all of us have that challenge before us. I choose Abba Yah. And I suggest you should too. But it ain't up to me. It's up to you. Not your pastor, not your mama, not your grandmother. You. Not your husband, not your daughter. Remember Lot's wife. You. Blessed, verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of your body. That's your children. And the fruit of your ground. That's wherever you're walking. The fruit of your cattle. The increase of your goats. Your cows. And the flocks of your sheep. Blessed shall be in your basket, in your store. It means that you're going to have resources. Financial and other resources. Remember, all resources not money, brothers and sisters. In the time to come, money is not going to do anything, but they're about to get rid of it anyway. I'm sure you guys paying attention. You need to go back and look at, CBDC, right? I think I said that right. BIS, Bank of International Settlements, they're about to settle up. They're about to close the books. Yeah, your cash is going over to crypto and it's going to go to their control. So you hoarding it, you can hoard it all you want. It ain't going to do you any good when they get their hands on it, and they're going to get their hands on it. You'll be much better off using those resources, number one, to store up things that you need, and then bless others who Abba Yah put in your path so they could be doing the same thing, whether getting things they need to get together or sustaining the word so that you can continue to be warned and be informed so you know how to perform to ensure that these blessings befall upon you. 2, food, water, sanitation supplies, weaponry, good health, physically fit, communities. Talking about like-minded believers of Israel. And if there be a stranger, that stranger needs to be very demonstrative of being fully obedient. Because Egypt did get blessed along with Joseph, but they were following law, statutes, and commandments, and they knew Joseph was in charge, and they had no problem with that. They know Joseph and his brothers were in charge, and they had no problem. But they did have some of them who hated them still, but they didn't have no power. But Israel, this is for you. This is the promise Abba Yah made for us. We are supposed to be blessed here too. They lied and say, "Oh, you'll get yours when you die. Just be a good Christian. Don't forsake the fellowship of the brother. Where you been? No. I know I'm not gonna be. When my eyes get open to the truth, I'm gonna act like if a blind man is blind, then again he can be led around. Because he may or she may not know how to get where she's trying to go. But if that blind man or blind woman receive their sight, they don't need your hand on them anymore. Move, I got this. You can let my hand go now. I see. And what I do see, what I'm going to do is see my way out of this damnation that I was led into by these heathens and by uninformed, relatives and ancestors. They loved Yah, but they were uninformed. And now that knowledge has been increased, why are you still there? And that goes for the elderly among us too. Why are you still there? When you got right here in front of you the Tanakh and the truth, why are you still there? Do you love your pastor, you love your religion, you love your church more than you love Abba Yah? Is that what you're saying? Well, I know you're not saying it with your mouth. But if you're still in there, you better beware, because you very well could be saying it with your heart. When the ways of a man pleases Abba Yah, even his enemies, Abba Yah puts up under him. If you were in the right place, then Abba Yah would have given you supremacy over every situation that's associated with, including your health. He just said you'll be blessed in the fruit of your body. and your children too. Blessed shall you be in the basket of your store. Blessed shall you be when you come in. Blessed shall you be when you go out. That means you just blessed all over the place. Someone come to you for something, you say, oh, here it is, I got it. Hey, Grandma, can I need it? Yeah, here it is. Is that enough? You need some more? Remind me of my dear mother. That's what she would do. She'd give you something. You say, is that enough? You need some more? I have that same in me, by the way. But there was a gift from Abba Yah. Still a gift from Abba Yah. It's a mindset. Blessed to be a blessing. Verse 7. And Yahuwah shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be smitten before your face, and they shall come out against you one way, and they shall run away from you 7 ways. And Yahuwah shall command the blessings upon you in your storehouses and in all that you set your hand unto. I mean, everything that you set your hand to is supposed to be blessed, brothers and sisters. And it can be blessed. The problem, it isn't blessed. And why? Because they didn't tell us this. They told us this was done away with. You didn't need that. Jesus is going to work it out. And Jesus is dead. Oh, of course, they say he came back, but nobody can find him. Oh, he's in your heart. Yeah, right. Okay. What's that old country song? I got some oceanfront property in Arizona that you can see the ocean from. Or the nice ocean view right in the middle of the desert. I did say the middle of the desert. We didn't need a man to die for us to be blessed, brothers and sisters. Yah left a manual with instructions that all we had to do was to obey, and the blessings would follow. And that manual is still before us this very day. I'm reading from it. Verse 9, now Yahuwah shall establish you a holy people unto himself. We belong to Yahuwah. We read that in Isaiah 43. A people, he said, you are mine. Israel is mine. Moses just showed us in the Torah that we are Abba Yah's unto himself. Let me read that again. Deuteronomy 28:9. Yahuwah shall establish you a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto you, if you shall guard the commandments of Yahuwah and obey them, or walk in his ways. Walk in the ways of the commandments, not in the way of another man, not in the way of religion and traditions and customs and society, fraternities, sororities. No, we walk in the ways of Yahuwah based off how he's written out, or according to as he has written out in his Torah. That's what we do. And then we'll be blessed. I know some probably earlier when I said that y'all don't hear your prayers because that's what Solomon said in Proverbs 28:9. I don't believe that. Well, what has got you so far? Well, I got a nice job in the house. Who gave you that? Well, Yahuwah gave it to me. Okay. If you lose it tomorrow, are you still blessed? Because you know it can be taken, right? You know, the philosophy of the heathens is that you'll own nothing and be happy about it. You do know that, right? In your boasting. Blessings and prosperity should last eternity. Blessings and prosperity were put here to last eternity for Israel. And we have not had it because we rejected our Elohim to serve the heathens' created Elohim that they put on a cross and they celebrate 2 or 3 times a year. And we participated at our own destruction. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in. We're worshiping the wrong Elohim. And in these last days, the knowledge has increased. YAHUAH has put it on your brother's heart and many like-minded brothers and sisters as like myself to warn and tell. And if you want to meet other like-minded brothers and sisters, again, join us on the Bible study. You'll hear them. You're not alone. We're not alone in this. We may be the minority in this. There's no question about that. There's only a few of us are here. But Yah said that, narrow was the gate and straight was the path, to everlasting life, and few will find it. At least that's the word. That's a quotation of Yah's word. Might have been spoken by someone else, but it is Yah's word. Only a few shall be saved. Noah's day was only 8. In the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, only 3. Lot and his 2 daughters. Yah's not in the numbers, brothers and sisters. He's in the obedience. Noah obeyed, he lived. Lot's daughters obeyed, they lived. Joseph, his brothers, obeyed, they prospered. And so can you. So can we. And all the people of the earth shall see that you are called by my name. So instead of being a disgusting word or a proverb, or a byword, he said we're supposed to be a word when people look at us. They're supposed to, boy, look at those who are blessed of YAHUAH Elohim. Look at them. Look how beautiful and how strong and handsome and prosperous. And look how they raise their children. Look at their culture. Look at their value system. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Their YAHUAH is the only powerful or all-powerful YAHUAH. But that's not what they're saying about us, because we're serving who they're serving. So really, they go in the back room and they giggle and they're snickering. They still believe in Jesus. We good, okay. They still believe in Allah. Okay, good. Kala, yeah, good. Thor, Zeus, Amara, good. Horus, Isis, good. Semiramis, good. Semiramis, good. Not good. Maybe good for them, not good for us. What's good for us, your brother is sharing. Verse 11, YAHUAH shall make you plenteous in the goods, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and the fruit of the ground, of your ground, and the land which YAHUAH swore unto your fathers to give you. And YAHUAH shall open unto you his good treasure, the heavens, to give you rain unto your land in his season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, and you shall not be borrowers. And YAHUAH shall make you the head and not the tail. And you shall be above only and not beneath. If you will hearken, if you will listen, if you will obey, if you will do, brothers and sisters, the commandments of YAHUAH, which I command you this day to guard them, to do them. And you shall not go aside from any of the words which I command you this day, to the right or to the right hand or to the left, to go after other Elohims and serve them. And that's exactly what they did. They gave us other Elohims. Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, Kali, Muhammad, you name them. Pope, many of them. And he said that we were not to do that. And we don't have to continue doing it. If you want to change the course of your life, come back to the truth, brothers and sisters. Your life. You want to change the course of your life. I'm not talking about grown children of yours. You need to change your life. Ain't gonna do you no good going where they going if they're in rebellion. Change your life. Maybe they'll see your life change, genuinely change, and they will see Yah's blessings in your life, and maybe they will recognize that they, are lost. The way that seemed right to a man, the end thereof is what? The ways of his own death. Brothers and sisters, we're going to stop right here because there's a whole lot more to come. So we're going to have a part 2, y'all willing. Tomorrow I'm going to pick back up where we left off with, the two, unfortunately, hordes of Israel and Judah, the two sisters, the two adulterers, us. And we're going to get into the depths of it a little bit more tomorrow because we're at an hour and 35 minutes right now, and your brother's still over here in verse 12. But we will pick it back up tomorrow, y'all willing, okay? Overview, and then we'll get right back into the word. But I think we got enough to reflect upon. This Torah is our Torah. This truth is our truth. We are supposed to be the head, brothers and sisters, not the tail. Like I said, this is not a fear channel. This is a warning channel. This channel was given to your brother to inform and to educate. This channel is to minister to YAHUAH's people. And I'm not a novice at this. And I don't say that with any sense of pride. I say this as qualifications. 40 years running and still learning. And will continue to learn because the knowledge is to increase. It's not supposed to decrease. You're not supposed to get stagnant here. That's what's going on with these churches. That's why many of them are still over there in the darkness, because they learned a few things. They learned a few tricks for horse and pony tricks, and they stayed right there where they were. Your grandmother, they were teaching your grandmother what they're teaching you, and you 40. Same message. Nothing has changed. Yet the book says knowledge was supposed to increase. Why haven't their knowledge increased? Well, my relationship is... He didn't say your relationship. He said your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding. That the book will be opened. Unsealed. What does that mean? Daniel chapter 12. What does it say when it says the books will be unsealed? That means there will be apocryphal books you didn't know about that will become available for you to learn things that was hidden so your knowledge could be increased, my dear brother and sister. But if you reject the knowledge, and Yah's just going to let you stay right there in the condition that you're in. You're going to be the sickest, the poorest, the brokest, the beggar, the desperate, awaiting the judgment that's soon to come and be destroyed, right along with the heathens who told you that you were going to be okay when Yah's word told you to leave, to come out. That's all I have for you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for your time. Shabbat shalom to you. And Yah willing, we'll pick up tomorrow, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, okay? Share the message. Thumb it up. YouTube has this channel, big time shadow ban. They do not want this message getting out. So if you don't thumb it up and leave comments, it's just going to sit there. They're going to hide. They hide the views, brothers and sisters, in the analytics. I see it every time. Your viewership will say 100 views, and then you go into the analytics, it's saying 150 views. Because they're intentionally slowing down the algorithms in the early part of this message because they don't want the message to go, viral. Because they don't want our people to know. So when you thumb it up and you share and comment, you're helping that, just so you know. It's not monetized, nothing like that. I took that mess off. I'm not called. YAHUAH told me no. There's enough of us around here to keep Brother DFG going. I don't need the heathen to monetize this message. But they are sabotaging it's getting released and getting out. So that's where you could be helpful by helping fight against that so that, the word can go. And it's as simple as I just stated. That's what you can do if you choose to. That being said, brothers and sisters, y'all willing, see y'all tomorrow. And we're going to pick back up with part 2. DFG, Shabbat Shalom. Bye now.